Life happens to the best of us, from a broken heart, failed attempt at love, losing a loved one. Life continues to happen. And like we earlier said, people fall in pain over and over again. But guess what? Weekend Deal is here. We're going to lace our package today with amazing renditions and impressive guitar play from the stable of Judah Wilson. He recently had a concert at ATW in Abuja. He's a singer-songwriter. He opened our show. He's ready to take it to another level. Judah.
I was hoping this music never stops. Oh my God, that was beautiful. Judah Wilson, well done. That was beautiful. Okay, so today's show is all about rediscovering your smile, opening your heart, and saying yes to life again, especially after a devastating experience. And you can do this slowly and intentionally. Now, for our conversation starter, Thelma Obazi, my girl, who will be telling us what breaks her heart and hopefully how to mend it. That is our backgrounder. Thelma!
Get on your feet, please. Give her a standing ovation. I beg you.
My beloved wife's name is Lois Nicholas Thomas Haruna. I met her 10 years ago. When I married her, I married an angel. I married a sister. I married a wife. I married a mother. I became the baby boy to her. She made sure everything goes well when it has to do with home front. She gave me peace.
Lois gave Victor peace because she had a peaceful and loving character.
What gave my wife joy is knowing that she has a man, a father, a husband that makes sure that every of her heart desires is my topmost priority. It comes first. And as a lover of God, and she is a pastor by the special grace of God before she left a sinful world.
On Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025, Victor took Lois to the park.
It was on Valentine's Day, 2025. My wife embarked on a journey to attend her best friend's dad's burial somewhere in Lafayette. I took her, drove her rather to the park. I remember saying to her, it's Valentine's Day and you're leaving for this trip? And she said, don't worry, my husband, I will return. Valentine's Day was on Friday. She said, I will return on Sunday and then we would do Valentine proper. I need to attend my best friend's burial. And I bidded her goodbye. And I had the Valentine surprise in the car with me. She didn't know. I presented to her and she was like, oh my God, oh, this is awesome. Thank you. This bag looks so lovely. And that was it. We got talking after she arrived live here. At the waykeeping, we got talking. She spoke to me and our beloved daughters via WhatsApp video call. We spoke on a Sunday and she was meant to return back home so we can prep for the kids the next day. Little did I know that I wasn't going to see her again.
It was with shock that Victor received a call asking him to come to Lafayette. Lois, what could it be?
A call came in from someone and said, you need to be in Lafayette. It's very urgent that your wife needs your attention. By the time I arrived, I was ushered in to the mortuary to identify my wife. And it was a shocker of my life. From that moment, my life turned cold. I was still in the state of disbelief. This is a woman that left and said she would return. And here I am, before a lifeless body. How do I break the news to my daughters? That moment was very devastating for me. Where do I start from? How do I break this news to my daughters? There were too many suggestions. Don't tell them now. Just tell them mommy isn't back yet, you know. Let it take a little while so it doesn't break them down. So I had to brace up, sat them down, and I broke the news to them. Said, mommy has gone to heaven. We won't see her in person. And they broke down in tears. We all broke down in tears.
Angels bow before you. Saints lift their voices high. Every knee will bow.
Today, she's not here. And I kept asking God, why? So I've come in terms with my faith that God has a reason for everything. So to all those that are broken out there, I just need you to know that God has a reason for everything. In everything that happened, there are benefits, and God will reveal it to every one of you. I'm living life all over again. I mean, it's another life.
Now Mr. Victor Thomas is slowly putting himself out there, learning to laugh, and live again.
Well, having the chat with Victor Thomas, I'll tell you, he wept. He actually broke down. And he said it's the first time he's speaking publicly about what he faced. But he was very thankful for the support of family and friends and people in the community. And that's the role Weekendale wants to play with all those who are falling in pain through different experiences today. Please stay with us. We've got good music. We've got guests who've been spending time impacting people. They are here. They will share with us. They know how it feels, and they know how, or the extra efforts we all need to make to ensure that we fall in pain, but we fall out of pain as quickly as possible. Our first guest is an architect, an Islamic scholar. He writes, and he does a whole lot more. But his profile will give us deeper insight.
The popular Pen Abdul. You're welcome to NTA Weekend Deal.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Okay. So, Mr. Abdullah is not alone. There is an amiable, calm, gentle lady that is also here. She is Dr. Hawa Mahmood Adam. She is a certified family and life coach. She's a civil servant and also an author. You are welcome to Weekend Deal, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. So our conversation today is centered around what happens after a heartbreak. Putting it out there. But we are focusing on living, laughing, and loving again. Yes. So what do you think? How do you think people should deal? First, let's even start with the beginning. How do you think people should deal with losses, with heartbreak? What should you do when it happens to you?
Good morning, all. Thank you for having me, Auntie. The topic is a serious topic that affects so many people, especially in Nigeria, the country we are today, we are facing economic hardship, so many challenges, insecurities, and these are kind of things that make people go into heartbreak or face trauma, because they are things that affect us physically, emotionally, psychologically, and we know people differ on the way they take situations like that. Some go into like heartbreak. They don't even expect things like that to happen to them, and some absorb it, and at the end of the day they enter into depression, and it affects their psychological being, their emotional well-being, their spiritual well-being, and it also affects their health generally. And the situation is like, it depends, as I said earlier, the way that individual consume that shock. And there are so many ways to deal with such situation.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Hawa. It's devastation will come for many of us at different points in our lives. We'd like you to reach out to us. Some of us have personal experiences. Some of us have been there as a self-care and a love community to accommodate those who are going through pain and show them that the world is still there and we care about them. As I talk to architect Abdullahi now, I want to ask him, what is the role of the community? Community can be family, can be religious body, can be the workplace, can be your community where you live. What is our role when someone is going through pain after a loss, any loss?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. The role of the family, the community, and the society at large in consoling with anyone that is going through some tough times in his life is that of compassion, love, and sharing in the pain. In Islam, for example, if someone loses someone that is close to him, what Islam says is that you don't even go to the house to eat food. You take food to the house. The prophets of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, would say, it is the practice that when someone is bereaved, the family, the other family members, the community should take food to them, because at that moment, what has befallen them is beyond imagination, and then for them to start thinking about cooking and other things, it's something that is unimaginable. And then if they have to do it, then it's something that they will do painfully. So in order to console them that you are bereaved, sit down, and then we will support you in this moment of your grief. So it's something that is deeply embedded in the religious practice of the Muslims, that, when someone, and that is why even to visit someone that is sick, there is a reward attached to it. So you can see that, that one should not be left alone to suffer or to go through the crisis of life alone. Even when someone accidentally hits someone with his car or with anything, and then the person dies, in Islam, the person has to pay certain amount of money, blood money. Now it's about 500 and something million if you kill someone accidentally, not even deliberately.
You mean Islamically, you have to pay
Islamically, you have to pay the family.
Say 500 and...
It's about 500, more than $500 million now. If you kill someone, that's accidentally. We are not talking about deliberately, accidentally. And then this money that you are giving to the family of the bereaved, the religious says it should not come from that individual alone, but all the families of all the family members of that individual. Do you know the wisdom behind it? If a nephew hits someone, maybe through reckless driving or accidentally, and then the person dies, and then the uncles and the aunties and the brothers and the other cousins are asked to contribute money to make up this about 500 million or more than now to give to the, you will feel the impact of the money you have contributed. So what will happen? You will look at your child and warn him not to drive recklessly. So all of these things
that means the entire extended family should
rally around, and so that the lessons that will be learnt there, one of the most important ones is that everyone would now sit down and start with himself. I have to drive carefully, and then you look at those that are under you, and then if this is what Islam has, even for someone that has accidentally killed someone, then you are asked to contribute in that. There is much more to that in terms of sharing in the pain and grief. In fact, that whoever lifts up the distress of anyone in this world, the Prophet said, Allah will lift up a distress from him from amongst the distress of this world and the hereafter, just by helping someone. You see someone that is sad, just by putting a smile on his face, there is a reward for you. And this is, a deep teaching in Islam that is almost a national anthem, amongst the Muslims. Meeting your brother with a smiling face, for you is a charity. Charity is not restricted to money in Islam.
Quickly, before I even come to Doctor, our holy books are amazing. I mean, this is opening my eyes to what the Quran has said. But why is it that we don't practice these things? Because if what you are saying is something that and it's something with the Muslim, the Christian holy book, if you know what the injunction is about making your name, why is it that we as Nigerians, we don't really practice these things? Because if we do, I won't be so shocked to hear this.
Yeah.
I won't be shocked hearing this.
The religious texts are one thing, and the religious adherents are on another category. So you have the religious texts of which you judge the religion by. And then you have the adherents. Some are suffering from laxity in terms of the implementation of the religious injunctions, while some are diligent in doing so. So where you find someone that is following the religious practices diligently, you would see that the society that such a person lives in is a better society than the one that those that are lax.
But good, they think that you are a scholar and a lecturer. So this is a message that you can be taking far and wide. Everyone needs to imbibe this kind of habit.
Absolutely. Okay, Doctor, when there is a loss, let's say a spousal loss, like we saw in Thelma's conversation started in the background there, when should somebody attempt to love again? Let's say a woman loses her husband or vice versa. When should a woman like that attempt to start looking at life or opening her heart to love again? What is the duration? When is it said to be decent for a woman to start saying, okay, I can move on, if she wants to move on? Some women will say, no, I'm done. But some will say, okay, fine, I'm still young. I want to attempt marriage again. What time should she give?
If I'm to look at it Islamically, there is a waiting period that Islam stipulated. The woman that lost her husband is to stay for 4 months and 10 days.
Oh, 4 months and 10 days. Oh.
This is her waiting period. We call it, in Islam, it's called Idda period. And the wisdom behind doing that is that she needs to be clean. If there is any pregnancy within that 4 months, it will be out and everybody will know. And then by that 4 months, if there is no pregnancy, nothing to show, she is free to marry again. That's if she is willing to marry again. And then also a waiting period, like that's for a woman that's lost her husband. For a woman that is divorced, she also have a waiting period in Islam, which is 3 menstrual cycles. And this also is for her to be clean, not to go and marry another man with somebody's child in her womb. So she need not to carry another bloodline to another man's house. So she has to give birth to that child, and immediately after delivery, she's clean and she can go and marry another man. And waiting period for Islam is is a situation of reflection. You know, you reflect how you relate with your husband and what happens now that he's normal. You know, most of Nigerian women, especially women in the northern
Nigeria.
part of the country, experience some kind of hardship, especially if you have children. So this is a widow mite that's cause trauma, distress, you know, it causes pain. Because if you have children and the woman is not working class woman, at the end of the day, she will be left alone with the children. And in that situation, it will be difficult to get married again. Because you hardly find a man that will take her with her children. And then if at all she is to be separated from her children, is another form of pain, because where the children are going, she might not like it, or they usually maybe share the children among family members, and that love of siblings and then the care of mother is not there. Recently, I have a friend that's lost her husband in a car accident. So he died instantly. And then the pain, when I visited, she was asking me, is my husband dead? Because she was devastated. Automatically she fell into a deep trauma situation, like she was traumatized. She was asking me, the corpse was there.
Oh my goodness.
She was asking me, is he dead? I said, he's dead. Okay, is it final? I said, that person, there is no history that someone died and came back, especially in this era of ours. We don't have any prophet to do any prophecy. He's gone. She was like, okay, what is she going to do? She was asking me questions. So when I looked at her, I have to burst into tears as well, because I don't even know the answer to give her. And she was in a situation that no one will understand her pain at that moment. And surprisingly, is like 3 months now, less than 3 months, and the family members are coming now to pick. I want to pick one, I want to pick the children. They want to share the children among the family members.
Different people.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come back to talk more about that. Losing somebody, a loved one, can be very devastating. And we must empathize. It's that empathy that we're not connecting as much as we ought. Always put yourself in someone's shoes. It will help you and help all of us and teach us how to relate with people. Even sometimes you don't know what somebody is going through because they've not told you. Don't assume that all is well. Well, on Weekend Deal today, the focus. We want to teach you, we want to reconnect, we want to boost you up with great music, our exceptional, amazing guests, so that you learn to laugh, to love, and to live again. Talatu's been out there. She's doing something to ensure that we connect with you, and then the best really is yet to come. And of course, we'll come back again to Judas Wilson to do another amazing number. Talatu, what did you find?
There are several attachment styles in this impulsive pursuit of relationship that are very unreasonable. You see some people, they just meet a lady who have the same first name with them, and that becomes an attachment style. My name is Femi, this girl is also Femi. And that's sufficient to start a love journey. That's crazy. Sorry to use that word. You see some others, it's just like a career match. Okay, I'm a lawyer, you're also a lawyer. And why not? We can just collaborate and form. And that does not mean that they will end well, but they just came on the platform that they are both lawyers. Some people have a mindset, a goal, and say, well, if I need somebody who can take care of my children, so I need somebody who is a nurse. Or I need somebody who's a teacher who closes early from work, and that become an attachment style. So when they see a teacher, they see a nurse, they see a potential woman who can come into a relationship with them, and they come into error because those are not the factors to consider in coming to true relationship that intentional love is built through. Yeah. So when you have those kind of crazy platform or attachment style, you eventually run into problem. And those problems leads to crisis that eventually leads to divorce. Cultural traditions also play a role. Some people believe that when a lady is at a particular age, she should just provide, or she should be married. Or if a man is done with school and he has a good job, the next thing for him is to get married and start building a family. Yeah, that expectation is not bad, but that should not be the pursuit or the reason why you should not come into a relationship that is not well defined. There are also parental influence. When parents came, you've attended the wedding ceremony of their friends, or so they also want their own children to also have that kind of celebration. Or you have people who they finish school at the same time, or finish from the university at the same time, or tertiary institution at the same times, and they see that those people are now getting married, having children. That can put pressure upon any individual to say, okay, I also want to. Well, those pressure most of the time leads to wrong relationship. Or somebody who has a breakup and he wants to prove to the other person that, okay, if you are leaving me, it does not mean I'm stranded. There are other people who are willing for me. And I've seen this common happen particularly to ladies. If there's a breakup, particularly if it comes from the guy, and they wants to show the guy that, look, if you leave me, there are several other who are interested in me. To prove a point, they come into any relationship that is available that may not be a suitable one for their destiny and their journey. Number one is that they don't yield to any counsel that is contrary to their expectation and belief. Once they want to do a thing, if you are even trying to put them on a caution or telling them to take this one, they don't seem to be interested in those kind of counsel attention. Number two, they are hasty to come into a legal union with their spouse. So they want to say, okay, we're just meeting this month. By next month, we should come into the court. We want to get to know your people. Let's just settle down without taking time to understand one another. And such people, they seem to be blind to the errors of the partner, of the spouse, the partner. So even if the guy is doing wrong, they just tend to believe that the person will change with time, or even when it is glaring to them. So you discover that when people come into a relationship, what they complain about in the relationship 10 years after, those things they complain 10 years after that relationship, they also saw it 10 months before they got married. Right? But because they were not willing to just come to be patient for something else, they just wanted to come into this, they wanted that phase to go. So they were hasty to make it happen. So they choose not to even accept the reality that is confronting them. That pattern is common about people who rush into love or rush into relationship.
Oh, that was beautiful. How do you laugh again? How do you smile again? Is the sky as blue as it used to be before that devastating experience? Well, to help our conversation, our guest is still here, and I'll come to Doctor. We have painted a gloomy picture. You've told us stories of people who lost people. They never thought would happen. So, Doctor, how do we smile again? How do you make your home lively again? Like that woman asking questions. Can there be laughter in that home again? That is no more. Can we find love again?
Okay. Actually, there is hope in everything. There is hope. There is hope. So she should find something that will please her. As that's not the end of it. She's alive. And that's enough for her to look for a reason to smile again. She has her children. They should be a source of hope and happiness for her. She should look at the children's situation and then, take it and understand that he is gone. And then a new life chapter should be open for her. And not for her alone, for all people that are into a similar situation. It might be a demise of a partner. It might be a loss of something that is dear to you. It might be a job that will take you into that depression or a trauma situation. It can be anything in this life. So realize that destiny is written, but you can change it with your attitude, people around you, and your, faith in God that whatever happens to you happens for a reason. Now that this person is normal, he will, wherever he is, he will love to see you happy again. So you should take that at the back of your mind. If he were to be here with me today, is he going to like it? If I look like this, if I give up on life itself, and look at the other side of it, like sickness can come in, and that will affect the family as well, especially the children, especially your loved ones, especially people around you. So look for hope, look for help, but help in a situation, help in the appropriate place. Look for, psychological help through therapists, through medicals, and things that around you that will make you happy. So look for those things and try to live again, and you will make it, and people around you will like it.
Thank you, Dr. Hawa. The truth be told, it's sometimes easier said than done. But good thing, they have the support group of us here today. Weekend Deal is taking this path. We know it's real out there. I was speaking earlier about depression, because you talked about people coming as a community to support. That is one. But sometimes that support may not be the all. We talk about, are there times when somebody needs to step up to a medical professional and say, I've got support of my family, my daughters, my sons are there, everybody's rallying, but I may still need your wise counsel. But that will be after Judah Wilson. Judah is here with a constant, consistent message that there is always hope. Or rendition, either guitar play, even with the keyboard and all, can impact when somebody is not exactly happy and they are learning to laugh, love, and live again. Patience, we're talking earlier about depression.
Yeah.
Should the medical professionals come in at some point?
Well, there are two sides to everything, the spiritual aspect and then the physical aspects. And that is why even the religion, there is, when you are having pains in any part of your body, there is a supplication to be made with respect to the pain, so that the pain can be uplifted, can be lifted up. And then there is also the aspect of going to the hospital to take non-medications, painkillers, and what have you. So with respect to depression also, there are supplications that one is encouraged to recite at the time of depression, because the religion is a culture, is a whole lot, is everything.
It should be a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. So nothing has been left untouched. If someone is going through grief, depression, and what have you, there is a way out. And then there is that aspect of seek for medical attention. We have psychologists, we have mental health experts that are experts in this field. They understand the human psychology. Research have been done, or researches have been conducted, and then results have been made out there, and then things have been gotten out of the research, like this medication, like this pattern, sleep, do this and that. So at a time, if one is not getting out of his depressive state, then it needs a medical attention. But you don't wait for it to reach that state where you have to urgently need for a medical attention. So the medical attention should not be deferred. You understand? It should not be deferred.
They should work hand in hand.
They should work hand in hand. It should not be deferred, because these are experts. They know how to talk into your mind. They know how to raise your psychology. And, beautifully so, sometimes, even in Islam, we have people that are experts in this field that, they will talk you out of your problems by reminding you of people that have faced a bigger challenge than yours and then how they bounced back. In Bible, there is Job, right?
Yes.
Prophet Job. Yes. Ayub, Prophet Ayub, for 18 years, the prophetic narration said, for 18 years, he went through great ordeals in his life. He was sick. He lost all his family members, his wives, his wealth.
Everything.
But there was one thing that kept him going. He had faith that no matter how tough things are, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Good.
And then that is the spirit you need to. You need to reflect on. In this country, we've had someone that was in prison and then straight from prison to Asorok.
Yes.
Do you need anything that will uplift you with our contemporary
Look
society?
to that.
And then you have Prophet Joseph.
Yes.
Yusuf.
Yes.
Who was thrown into the well.
Yes.
By his own siblings. So
Yes.
when you are talking about depression, you are talking about mental challenges, and your own siblings ganged up against you, throw you down there, they threw you down there, and then you were enslaved, coming from the house of prophethood. And now you find yourself as a slave. And then as you're going through that, a woman saw you, she was in love with you, but because God has kept you clean, she now accused you of what you are not guilty of. From there, you went to prison. In prison again, so many challenges. But straight from prison, straight from all of this, you went to the throne to become second in command. And then the father, the best of it is, you can't go through this more than the person that is observing. The father.
Yes.
It's not about Prophet Yusuf alone. What about Jacob, his father? Prophet Yaqub, alayhi salam, peace be upon him. He had a son that he lost in the hands of his other sons. And then, as he was grieving, then they came asking him to allow the sibling, the full sibling of the other one, to follow them. And then he followed them. And then, as God will design it, the test intensified. They lost the other one too. Do you understand? And then what happened? Out of grief, he lost his sight. Can you imagine that? But he said, how can I lose hope in God? It is only the unbelieving folks that lose hope in God.
Wow.
And then he kept his faith standard and intact. And then what happened? They all came. They said, this is what is happening. But he said, I can smell the fragrance of Yusuf. That was the faith here. And then they thought him to be a madman because of that thinking of his. What happened at the end of the day? He went. He was reunited. He got his sight back. A miracle. He got his sight back. He went, was reunited with his two children that were lost before. Not only was he reunited with them, but he now saw his son sitting on a throne. So what better sight is that? That's a good ending. That's that's the type of news you want to hear. And then that's just a sample amongst many people have gone. The Prophet of Islam has gone through a lot. He was ejected from Mecca. That was his birthplace. He was persecuted. His followers was persecuted. See, you are talking about losing a loved one. The Prophet had a wife that supported him financially, psychologically, physically. Khadija, his first wife.
Khadija.
When he was called to prophethood, that was the first time he had encounter with Angel Gabriel. And then it was terrifying. He's never seen him before. And he came back home and he was saying, Zammiluni, cover me, cover me. And the wife was there to console me to say, no, don't worry. Have you forgotten? You are someone that helped the weak ones. You are someone that stands for the truth. You are someone that, keep the ties of kith and kin. God will never leave you unattended to. You will never suffer. And then she was there to console him. And what happened? He enjoyed her company for that long. And then God took her.
She left.
Okay. On that note, we'll take a break.
Okay. Wow. Amazing. It's just amazing how the two holy books have the same stories. All God has prepared us for times like this. So whether you're a runaway bride, whether you had a runaway bride, or you were left on the altar, or you said, say yes, yes, say yes, and she said no. Whatever your situation is, you can smile and you can love and laugh again. We'll take a break right now.
You're watching Weekend Deal. We did tell you earlier that we're streaming live on TikTok and Instagram at NTA Network. So be a part of our show, because at different times in our lives, we will fall in pain. What we're being told by experts here today is that we don't need to stay in pain. As quickly as we can fall out of pain. And they have so far enumerated different ways. Support of community is so key. But NTA Channel 10 has been doing their due diligence and their own research. They will share. Perhaps this is peculiar in Lagos, or is it nationwide? Channel 10, please share what you found.
Heartbreak is a universal human experience that transcends age, yet unfolds uniquely in each generation. It is a complex emotional experience characterized by intense feelings of sadness, grief, anger, and disappointment, often resulting from the breakdown of a romantic relationship, loss of a loved one, or betrayal.
Heartbreak is a kind of trauma. And what is trauma? Trauma is the psychological, mental, and emotional response to a loss. We are talking about loss of relationship, loss of a loved one, which is grief, loss of jobs, or any significant loss.
Honestly, it's not really easy. When I lost my husband in the year 2005, precisely 17th of November, it's a very heartbroken event or scenario. Actually, there was no sickness. We just finished our morning devotion and getting ready for the children to go to school. My husband went into the bathroom to bathe and he couldn't come out again.
When I was in the university, I have this very beautiful, sweet damsel that I was in love with. She was 17 at the time and I was 18. And we were rolling, you know, we were freshers in the university. But somehow, her admission was revoked because she couldn't meet up certain criteria. It was a major turning point for me. It was a huge heartbreak because she had to go home to plan for another year.
However, being able to cope with heartbreaks and broken relationships differ.
It was like an eye-opener because everybody has its own wilderness journey in life. So I encourage people, I use that trauma, that scenario to encourage people that I come along with facing one kind of problem or the other challenges, pain, heartbroken situations. I try to encourage them that if I can go through this, and today I'm testifying, then you can pass through that.
Sometimes I'll feel depressed. I'll stay in my hostel room. After lectures, I'll stay in my hostel room. Sometimes during lectures, I'll be very quiet. So a few of my friends noticed that, and then they tried to come around me, to play around me, to just introduce me to other sports, other activities that would distract my mind from being lonely and from thinking about that.
No matter the situation, you must move. Here are a few coping mechanisms.
Sometimes healing takes years. This is what people don't understand. We usually tell people going through heartbreak, heal before you move on to the next relationship. So within a period of 3 months, 6 months, they think they have healed, but they haven't. How you know they have not healed is if there is any other trigger from the next relationship, everything will explode. They will get back to worse. So we advise family members to know that these things it takes time. It's a process. And the person can go from shock, which is the first stage. The person can go from shock to anger, to denial, to sadness. Maybe the person can still go back to sadness. If you're thinking that you finish, we see them a lot. After maybe their 5th session, you're thinking that, okay, we are past that stage of sadness. We are good, we are moving to the next stage. Then by the next section, you see that they have slipped back to that sadness. So I encourage family members to be patient with them. Be patient with them. They just need you to know that you are there with them. Give them all the time they need. Don't talk them out of it, telling them that it's not over 6 months.
Through the stories of others, we find the courage to face our own heartbreak and emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Let's learn to laugh, love, and live again.
Okay, our conversation is sure heating up. And joining it now is Angela Elizabeth. She is the founder and consultant clinician of Caris. Let's see her profile.
Okay, maybe we'll go to Lagos directly.
Okay, let's see her directly. She's in the studio. Hello, Madam Elizabeth. Okay. Okay, let's see her profile. Okay.
Hello there. Hello there. Great to see you.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about laughing, living again after life throws you that curve ball. Let me go to another aspect. You are a woman looking forward to your wedding, and few days to that wedding, they call it off. How should a woman like that trust and even love again? How do you go about it?
For one's wedding to be called off, because that's a very traumatic event. And of course, the kind of society that we live in, Nigerian for instance, we are very judgmental, we are very stereotypical, we label people. If such an incident occurs, the first thing, the woman is judged, the woman is blamed, the woman is condemned to, oh, she has bad luck, she's not good. They don't look at the person who had made this poor judgment. Nigerian society don't focus on the man, rather they focus on the woman, and all sorts of condemnation comes to the woman. For that kind of a woman, what I will suggest is that the family at this time around should not abandon her, because the world is outrightly judging her. Even the church is judging her. Even the pastor that is even supposed to judge and join them sometimes is judging her. So the first thing is to get support from our loved ones and our family. My family, it goes beyond blood. It's not necessary blood. Someone who has got your back is your family. So support this individual and understand to say it's not your fault. Nobody expects this. Nobody is faulting you for it. Give her that love, that confidence. That with that you are building her strength. You are building resilience for her. Then you advise her to seek treatment, to seek therapy. What do I mean by treatment? Therapy. Talk to a psychologist, talk to a psychiatrist, talk to a clinical social worker. Be sure that these persons that you are talking to, they are certified, they've been trained. So because in this therapeutic profession, the slogan is do good and no evil, do good and no harm. So if you go to someone who is quackery, that individual is going to cause more pain. I don't want to use the word victim. It's going to cause more pain for the survivor, because this survivor has survived this traumatic episode. So you continue to build her resilience. With that, she comes to understand to say, yes, I love this person. I would have loved to share my life with this person, but it never happened. Not because I'm a bad person, neither is this person a bad person or an evil person. It's just that they did not see us. He didn't see us sharing that life together. So I would rather move on and live my life and be hopeful that somebody who has this energy, who have my kind of energy, believes in my kind of love, values, orientation. We are going to do life together. But that's been hopeful. But let's say life is not even happening. Thank God we are not in 1980. We are in 2025. The world is global. Live your life. Whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're divorced, you must be productive. You must be functional. You must be making impact. You must do something that makes you happy. If love comes again, embrace love. If love doesn't come, you love yourself. You have to love yourself first before another person will love you. And you are not limited by stereotypical thought pattern. I'm going to go to that. Like, our society is very stereotypical. If you're using a public service and you're demanding value for that money that you're paying, you will see the Nigerian society will condemn you and say, why don't you use Uber if it's transportation? If it's education, why don't you send your child to public school? Heavens no. So long money is being parted, there should be value. So you live your life to give value. Thank you. That's how I answer that question.
Miss Angela, you know, sometimes when we face traumatic experiences, either the loss of a job, even property, when your house is demolished, you've invested, you've borrowed money, not to talk of when you lose a spouse, a sibling, you know, somebody you really cherished. Sometimes what nullifies a marriage plan is not an intentional broken heart. It could be a natural call. Your partner could die. People tend to pick up support and hope from non-physical things, from non-human beings. That's where we could develop substance use disorder. Tell us about that. What do you find? And what happens then? Because they are looking for hope and succor, but instead, sometimes this habit can bring about a wider disconnect in family, with your colleagues, with the society in general.
So what you're talking about now, substance use disorder, which is typically using drug, abusing drug, leading to dependency, becoming problematic, then leading to disorder, which is the full-blown addiction. So people cope differently. People function differently. Some people, when they have problems, they are very resilient. Not because they are strong or they are weak. That's how they are. And probably environmental factors. They've been exposed to life that there is that hope for them. They know that, okay, if I turn to this person will support me. This person has got my back. Why some people internalize things? They would rather sort their things by themselves. And that is where the substance using comes in. So they want to use substance to cope. Initially, let's take someone whose house has been demolished, or someone who lost a job in this Nigerian thriving economy, and the person is like, no, now forever I've been taking care of people. Right now I'm dependent. I'm the one that is going to be asking. I'm the one that is going to be begging for people, and they can't just phantom with that thought, and they will say, okay, I can't sleep. The person is not able to sleep, probably experiencing insomnia. Rather than the healthy thing to do is to seek help from family, from friends, from professionals. But they are not doing that because they internalize their issue and they start taking psychoactive substances. They start using, and funny enough, these psychoactive substances, they have their benefits. But however, when it's abused, not everyone is resilient to that dependency. A dependency might creep in, and they start experiencing disorder. They suffer the addiction. So for people like that, they use it initially. The drug might help them to sleep, might help them to function, might help them to forget. But the danger with psychoactive substances is that it there's a pattern, because that's not how the brain is wired. You have exposed your brain to these substances, which is now affecting the CNS, which is the central nervous system, and it's now going to create some maladjustment for you. That individual is not adjusted biologically, and addiction creeps in, and they suffer addiction. Brings us back to the Nigerian society. The Nigerian society will now look at this individual and say, you brought this upon yourself. You are a moral failure. You lack values. You don't have strength. Why can't you stop? Nigerian society is yet to grasp the fact that addiction is a health problem. There's an addiction of science to say, okay, this person has exposed the brain to substance. This person has developed addiction. Okay, what can we do for this person? This person, that the functionality that they were having as an adult or as a child, probably being a child, respectful to the parents, now you are beginning to see they are beginning to question the parents' authority. Let's go back to, because we're talking about adults. So now this individual, if she's a wife, she cannot fulfill a motherly roles or a wifely roles. She doesn't even care about her family well-being anymore. All she's thinking is drug. People are shocked that I'm saying this about women. Nigerian women use drug. It's just that Nigerian society sees the Nigerian man using drug. Nigerian women use drug. If you look at our last statistic, the number of women who use drug, they say out of every 4 drug using person, 1 is a woman. And the statistic as at 2018-19 was 14.4 million Nigerians have used drug in a lifetime. One from every 7 has addiction. And Nigerian society, we've still yet not embraced it. There's a survey going on again. There's a national survey going on right now. Only God knows when that result comes out. Probably this 2025, I can't say. If it's 2026, when it comes out, only God knows if Nigeria is addressing its drug problem appropriately, or we are still just looking at it, leaving it at the back burner. Because if we had 14.4 in 2019, what are we going to have in 2026? So in 2026, if you and I, we see that statistics have dropped to 7.7, we will applaud ourselves as Nigeria. But if it skyrockets to 20 million points, whatever, or above the current 14 million that we have, that means Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The truth is, we know that life can deal with you. I mean, Thelma and I are here smiling and talking, but we've had our experiences. Exactly about a year ago, I lost my brother, Oche. He was my best friend. I have 5 brothers. I don't have a sister. Among them, he was my best friend. We were very close, and he died. It's almost a year. Somebody would ask, time heals. I've learned that you don't truly heal, but you learn to live. You learn to laugh. You learn to move on. But there are still incidences, times when I still break down and cry and I say, Oche, where are you? Life goes on to say, well, NTA Kano is telling us that it had meant. NTA Yola. I'm so sorry about that. NTA Yola is telling us that the heart meant again. Let's see how it meant. But one thing I know, life goes on. NTA Yola, take it away.
Man gotta man up. If you want to head shoot, man don't cry. And it's really kind of messed up, but they're going to judge if a man don't try. So you go through life every day trying to make it all good for your family. And nobody really care what you got to go through when you pay the price.
Pain is undoubtedly a part of life, but suffering is not inevitable. Even when bad things happen and it's easy to feel lost, there is always a way forward.
Moments like that, and humanly speaking, you understand, the experiences that could be brief, sometimes long. But for me, I have a way of getting the fact that whatever it is like, there are times when you really have to get over yourself and do that which is right so that you can heal yourself and begin to look up.
So if I'm kind of like maybe down, sometimes I grab my sketch part, draw things like imaginary things. I play music, and music is one of like the top tier. Like it's one of the tops that help me through my healing process. So usually when I'm sad or down, I usually grab my phone, plug in my AirPods or AirPods, and then play the music. And then I can relate to the lyrics and then calm down.
People, regardless of age, all face difficult moments, especially losing a loved one. Experiencing heartbreak or enduring trauma can make one feel like his world is crumbling. Yet, even in the darkest moments, hope persists.
I think it's just a usual psychological process, that comes with age, maturity, and perhaps exposure, to occurrences that either repeat themselves to become too regular for you to be in position to perhaps get above such.
Healing is possible, and it can be facilitated through various means such as therapy, art, and music can help people understand their emotions, gain new perspective, and rediscover happiness.
I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. Put it all behind me. Yeah, that's it. It goes.
I took time to sit and learn before recording new songs, and I bet you this lines that I wrote is a winning coupon. Internet trolls wanna make you change the stuff that you own, so I turn my back on its post like I'm looking for porn.
Music is what appeals to your brain, and your brain is your nerve center, and the brain is basically controlled by two basic things: the thought line and the emotional line. And as it goes down with you, as you think, so also it applies to the kind of way that your emotions are calmed and make you to have some kind of stability, that brings you up, at least to settle down.
As one heals, he reconnects with himself, passion, and loved ones as he learns to love again, find new things to live upon, and discover joy in life.
Just that note. So it is, of course, a demand for every productive human being to look for what will lift him from what used not to be, something that is negative. Leave it up. Go ahead. Face it.
Some of us keep it to ourselves. That is where we have problem. So I would advise that in situations of trauma, in situations like this, that at least there must be somebody, a family relation that is very close that you can share this experience with.
Remember, healing takes time, patience, and support. But with the right mindset and tools, you can find happiness again, laugh, love, and live a full life.
Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your...
I'm not dancing because life is perfect. I'm moving my body from side to side because hope never dies. And that's what Judah Wilson has been preaching here today, and so have our expert guests. Okay, Nigerians are watching. He said, good morning, everyone in the studio today. I empathize with Mr. Thomas. Our opening story was about Mr. Victor Thomas, who lost his wife in February, 2 days after Valentine's Day. He said it happens to us all. It happened to me exactly a year ago with my daughter. I remember it as if it were yesterday. My granddaughter was 9 and my grandson 4. Then just 3 months later, their mom passed. So did the dad. 3 months after their mom died, the father died. That's the extent of heartbreak.
Yeah.
And now we live with our grandchildren. We send our condolences to Mr. Thomas and everyone who's ever been bereaved. Thank you so much. That was, okay, you didn't tell us your name, but we thank you so much. Someone is talking here about, someone says, my name is Bella Savage. I love your program. I'm enjoying your program. And I love all the encouragement and the advice. Someone is saying here, he would like our architect to tell him more. He says, please, I would like I'd like our guest to explain Islamically if there's a prohibition against putting oneself in a worrisome state. Even if we know that there is hope, when we are in a worrisome state, does Islam prohibit that? He didn't tell us his name or where he's reaching us from. Let me just add this last one. Someone says, for every believer, heartbreak and disappointments will happen. There's part of life's journey. Always remember God's caution as reflected in the Quran. Allah asked, do you think you claim you believe and he will not test you? Every experience is part of destiny.
Indeed.
Okay, with respect to the question asked, you know, Allah says, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can carry. It's human to experience worrying circumstances at certain times in our lives. So for us to be asked not to experience that, it's, you know, opposite of what we are inherently built on. So it's natural to worry about certain things, but when that worry comes, there is an exit. And then I think what is coming to my mind now is a verse in the Quran that I love so much. Quran chapter 57, I think verse 20 or 19, where Allah is saying, and I'm not going to quote in Arabic to save time, where Allah is saying that there is no calamity, there is no single calamity that befalls on the earth or in yourselves as individuals, except that it is in a written tablet before its occurrence. And then God says that is very easy for God to implement. Now listen to the gist. Now God says, why you have been told that everything has been preordained is that so that you will not be sad over the things that you have lost, and then you will not rejoice. Now rejoice here is that you will not be too arrogant over the things that you have gained, thinking that it is your intelligence. Now this verse summarizes everything we're talking about. In life, it's either you lose or you gain. God is telling us in this chapter of the Quran, verse 57, chapter 57, if you lose, don't be sad. If you gain, don't be arrogantly rejoiceful. Because in both situations, I am the one controlling. So, you know, when you know this, and then God says, after every hardship, with every hardship there is relief. With every hardship, there is relief. So, you know, the relief is all, and the scholars of Islam will say, when the test intensifies, then relief is very much close.
Okay. Amazing. I mean, the same verse in the Bible will say, what do you have that you were not given? That's what the Bible says. What do you have that you were not given? Okay, it is time for us to look at the papers, and I'll begin with Sunday Tribune. We'll be doing our papers this morning with our co-presenters. They will present with us. So let me start with the Sunday Tribune. And the big one here says, stay clear of Southwest. And the writers, there's Oyo, Shuekete, Edo, after the Kwara bloody attack, one bandits after the bloody attack. And then below that, we have another industrial action looms in public varsities. Okay, and below that, that story is on page 4. There's so much here. Tinubu, OBJ, Atiku, Northern Governors, others mourn passage of Audu Ogbe at 78. May God Almighty rest his soul and grant the family, the whole family, the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. I'll be moving to the Sunday Sun. And again, the story of the death of Audu Ogbe is at the top here. Audu Ogbe, Tinubu, Akume, Ojikalu, mourn the ex-minister. And then below that, the big one here says 2027 presidency, confusion over Jonathan. That story is on page 5. Before I go, let me see what this young woman is saying. And it's in line with what we are discussing today. She said, I lost a confidant when my father died. That's Niniola, Afrobeat artist. It happens to all of us, and God will give us the strength to move on. Okay, what do you have, Dr. Hawa? What paper are you looking at?
Me here is the Nation Sunday.
Okay.
The paper is saying ADC struggles for presence in Lagos, Kaduna, Enugu, Delta, other states.
Okay.
And also we have paper in page 5, Tinubu, Apabio, Akume, others mourn ex-PDP chair, Audu Ogbe.
Okay, all right. Hand over nicely to your co-presenter.
Well, today, in today's Leadership Sunday, we have amidst 18 million out-of-school children, Jonathan's Almajiri schools abandoned.
Okay. What page is that? Tell us what page.
That's on page 4.
Oh, good. Thank you
so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Our dear architect. And Scholar, it's time for some sports gist. Moses Simon injured on return to former club. He limps off the pitch. But that will not take away the fact that Osimhen is here again. Osimhen. Already his team is winning. He's winning laurels and goals far away in Turkey, but he's also encouraging all his teammates who are playing at home in Nigeria to please bring the Chan Cup, you know, for Nigeria and Nigerians.
Thank you so much, Godwin. Today is all about laughing and living again. And if you see in front of us, our table is looking near me. You can be intentional about it. Maybe just make that favorite meal. I know you're not feeling okay, but make your favorite meal. Enjoy it like I'm enjoying this now. And surely and steadily, you see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Thelma, Lagos, are you going to say?
Yeah, but we won't go to Lagos. I'm saying thank you to Chef Samuel.
Yes.
He always got our back. Talk about cakes, breakfast. He's a toaster. A chef par excellence. We celebrate you. Thank you so much for all you do for Weekend Deal. Let's quickly say goodbye to Miss Angela in Lagos. We want to thank you for coming on the show today. Thank you. You know, there's so much we will share. And another next time, okay? Miss Angela, thank you for coming on the show. Okay, thank you, Miss Angela, our guest. The final lap of the show.
Yes, give us
your final words. Let's start with Dr. Hawa.
Okay, actually, when you have for a victim of trauma, heartbreak, any distress, there is always hope. So go back to your Lord spiritually, seek for assistance in the appropriate way and from the appropriate people, and then you will be fine, and you will laugh again, and you will have a reason to share love again.
Indeed. Architect.
Always remember those that have experienced worse than what you are experiencing, because that will help you to look at your challenges to be insignificant, and then it raises your hopes. And then where there is life, there is hope.
There is hope.
Indeed. We can all learn to love, to laugh, and to live again, especially when we're intentional. Eat healthy meals and keep smiling. Choose to be happy, and that we choose happiness.